Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to EBN Prime Edition tonight, it being the 6th day of December, the year 2023. I do hope you had a fantastic Wednesday from wherever you are watching tonight's bulletin with me, Sami Adika. Now, we do expect, or rather we are waiting to see if President William Ruto will respond to the arrest of the Controller of Budget, that is Margaret Nyakango, once he gets back from India, where he was on his 2-day trip. Now, that is if he will respond, because we have not seen his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, address that issue. But we've seen a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders, especially from Kisii County, addressing that specific issue, his arrest, saying it is just a malice against the president. But starting us off tonight, President William Ruto has concluded his visit to India after holding talks that resulted to the signing of 5 memoranda of understanding that seeks to enhance bilateral relations between Kenya and India. Kenya is targeting investors to explore opportunities in the manufacturing sector and harness renewable energy resources. Now, in his address in India, President Ruto further noted that Kenya and India economic ties will solidify Kenya's position as Africa's leading green industrial hub.
Economic Forum has rated Kenya human capital as the best in the world. So if you are looking for people to work in your business or enterprise or investment, and you need engineers or bankers or investment people or whatever you need, you will find them in Kenya. We just concluded today, again, a bilateral relationship on how we can collaborate more on matters sharpening our human capital. We just signed an MOU between the Indira Gandhi National Open University and the Open University of Kenya to share courses, to share capacities, so that we can train our people more.
We have a stable economy, we have political and microeconomic stability, we are globally competitive, we have access to many raw materials, and being a gateway to Africa, it's also access to many materials and various chemicals like cobalt, manganese, nickels that are found in other African countries. We also have a young, trainable and productive workforce. Kenya boasts a youthful, trainable workforce.
Well, moving forth, that is Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u denied allegations that the government released 17 billion Kenya shillings to pay for fuel subsidy, saying that the program was cancelled as it was costing the government a lot of money. Appearing before the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, CS Ndung'u also responded to statements on the late disbursement of CDA funds that members of parliament are questioning as the House is set to go on recess for the festive season.
We cannot inject almost 20 billion and nothing is getting stabilized. So I know it is not your issue, but let them give us that background information.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, you know, even Googling, you can actually get the price trend of petroleum products. There's one component that has continuously beaten us is the whole issue of the Ukraine war. Even in Germany right now, if you go, you find the same thing because of that conflict, because they were dependent very much on that pipeline running there. So it means it has affected the global prices, and that is why the stabilization became very, very important, because if we brought in the whole price schedule, it could have been difficult. But thank you very much. We are going to provide one more information set on that.
I think CS, I think that's okay on that. This issue of oil prices, I think, is also an issue which need to be discussed, not only in this committee, but I think the Committee of Energy I think they also need to discuss this, because there are issues of G2G, which we were told that they are going to stabilize prices and exchange rates, but what we are seeing is different. So this to me, this is not an issue which should be handled by Treasury, but the issues which has been raised by members, I think they are very important for this country. So I think we can go to the next issue. CS, please.
The next issue, Mr. Chairman, it was on cryptocurrency and even crypto assets. And I think I want Matu to present what has actually happened. But let me also say there is it's an issue that I have faced for many years. One of them is to try to understand why do we have cryptocurrencies? Because actually everybody thought it was a currency. It's not a currency. It's a trading instrument. But it was actually the frustration of sending remittances across borders. You recall those years. And over time, Mr. Chairman, when you look at it, cryptocurrencies climb up in value and then they crash. But nobody tells you what happened. Nobody compensates you. So essentially, that is why we were saying it's a trading instrument and we have to be careful, because nobody knows the demand and supply conditions. But on the basis of that, we have actually to ask ourselves, how do we caution ourselves against that? Most of it has been to warn people from buying those assets, because as long as we do not know how to influence the supply and demand conditions, then there's very little we can do. And we have seen countries and most people suffer because of this. But I wanted Matu to actually give a central bank rhyme right, because I'm no longer there. I can't talk for them unless it's a general debate like the introduction, how I've introduced the whole matter. But let me also say, Mr. Chairman, we're also suffering in terms of AML CFT regime, in terms of how to contain those virtual crypto assets. But let me allow, through you, Chairman, allow Matu Mogo to actually maybe say a few things about what we have actually documented here, but then we can have a debate.
Now, on matters cost of living, religious leaders have faulted the Kenya Kwanza government for failing to address the cost of living issue that continue biting many Kenyans. The clergy under the FEICCK have argued that President William Ruto's government has continued to burden Kenyans with high taxations despite promising to improve standards of living. Now, the clergy also faulted the National Dialogue Committee for failing to prioritize issues affecting Kenyans and focusing on their selfish political agenda.
Tumepoteza tumaini ya Wakenya wengi na sana tunaona yale walizungumzia ni mazuri ndio na inaangazia bali sana, lakini kusema ukweli kabisa tunaona kama waliongea sana ile inayowahusu kibinafsi, ile inayowahusu kulingana na cheo fulani zile ambazo zimeakilishwa katika milego ya kisiasa. Inaonekana hiyo ndio sana walitumia muda wao kabisa na wakatosheleka na hiyo. Mwananchi wa kawaida akaachwa pale.
Hatuwezi kuendelea kama taifa pasipo na uadilifu, haswa taifa ambalo limekilia kwamba mwongozo wetu ni Mungu.
When you are accountable, even people trust you more and more. So if you're not accountable, how can you expect people to trust you? So trust comes when somebody is accountable. When you promise things and fulfill them. If you don't fulfill them, then why do you want people to trust you?
Away from that, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has commended the Competition Authority of Kenya for its work in the protection of consumers in the country. Speaking during the opening of the 2023 Consumers International Global Congress, the DP told the government agency that it needed to do more, particularly in raising public awareness to ensure that consumers are protected from unsafe practices. Now, the DP singled out harmonization of global laws and integration of technology to combat illicit trade and eradicate exploitation of consumers as a key step in enhancing protection of consumers and their rights.
Kenya is honored to host the 2023 Consumers International Global Congress in Nairobi, the first in Africa since establishment in 1960. It is a mark of confidence in Kenya's strides in advancing consumer protection. On behalf of our President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, I say, Karibuni sana, Nairobi. This is an important conversation taking place in Kenya when great progress is being made globally in protection of consumers. It is also a time that electronic commerce is growing in folds, with estimated sales surpassing $5.7 trillion globally. Last year, electronics and media devices and fashion commanded 41% and 31% of the market share, respectively. It is estimated that our country's e-commerce will hit the $4.2 billion in the next 4 years. This is not unique to Kenya. The digital evolution is changing how we do business, enhancing customer experience. The online experience can only be sustained if we, the policymakers and influencers, go a step ahead of threats and traps in e-commerce, including financial fraud, ransoms, among others.
Well, now on matters education, Azimio leader Raila Odinga is now calling for the formation of a task force that will investigate malpractices surrounding the recently announced 2023 KCPE results. According to Odinga, the results irregularities were occasioned by the award of a tender to print exam materials to an underqualified firm in the country, which was forced to subcontract another firm outside the country. Odinga has, however, castigated the Machogu-led ministry for failing to address issues raised by a number of parents before proceeding with the selection of high schools for the students.
KCPE alone had close to 1.4 million candidates. The steps outlined below are critical. 1. The circumstances under which the printing of the exams was transferred from the UK to Mombasa Road must be investigated. 2. Kenyans must be told how the integrity of the exams was secured during the transfer from the UK to Mombasa Road and later to another printer in Asia. 3. It is the right of Kenyans to know the cost of termination of the contract with the UK firm. 4. Kenyans must be informed of how the Mombasa Road firm was identified and awarded the tender and if procurement laws were followed. 5. Kenyans must also be informed of how the firm to relay KCPE results was identified, whether it is the same one that will relay the KCSE results and whether procurement laws were adhered to.
Well, we are waiting to see how that particular report by Odinga will be taken by the Ministry of Education. And the junior secondary school teachers in Bomet County took to the streets early in the day to express their dissatisfaction with the Teachers Service Commission, TSC, for failing to absorb intern teachers on permanent and pensionable terms. The teachers have vowed to stay home come January next year if their employer insists on signing the one-year contract. This has been the situation in different parts in the country, even as the Teachers Service Commission has, however, remained mum over the fate of the intern teachers whose contracts are set to expire on 31st of December this year.
I want to plead with the President of the Republic of Kenya to intervene and make sure that instead of renewing the contract of these JSS teachers, let them be confirmed on PNP. Yes. Let them be confirmed on PNP.
They have to confirm us if they want us to teach. Sinibo, if they want to renew the contract, we are not going to teach. Sinibo, yes. We are not going to fail ourselves in classes.
We don't have libraries in the primary. We do not have laboratories. We do not have home science labs. Yet you want us to teach these children. How can we imagine that we are giving a practical? How will that child know that this is a chemistry practical? Domicile us into SSS and also make us independent. You can imagine someone graduating 2021 and then 2023 ako permanent and pensionable. Someone who don't know even lesson plan inaandikwaje. Even the schemes of work, they don't know how many columns does it have. Oh my God. Nancy Macharia, my sister, we don't want. Shame on you. Shame on you.
It's very sad to note that the employer, that is TSC, has indicated that they want to renew contracts of intern teachers whose contract is coming to the end. This is unacceptable. These teachers were given 1-year contract, and changing goalposts now is not just illegal, but also very inhuman.
The Teacher Service Commission is supposed to employ us as teachers. And being interns, it means we had the highest of the marks. So we are not understanding why you as TSC refused us from applying the replacements that are undergoing. We are not understanding why a 2023, a 2022 graduate is getting a PNP form, whereas a 2016, 2015, 2017 intern is suffering under 17,000 shillings. It is totally unfair. We need to be confirmed.
Education still stands as a very critical sector that needs to be properly addressed by the government. We're waiting to see if the teachers will be absorbed on permanent and pensionable terms come January this year. And on matter security, days after a section of leaders from the vast Mount Kenya region raised an alarm over the return of Mungiki, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on security organs to initiate a crackdown on the sect. Speaking in Mathare, Nyeri County during the funeral service of Mercy Wairimo, mother to former Mathare Member of Parliament Peter Weru, Gachagua claimed that he will not, or rather stated that he will not allow the sect to be revived, as it has in the past years terrorized the region and derailed development.
And Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on...
While we shall be taking a short break, we shall be right back in a couple of minutes.
Through the morning rush and the buzz, find a voice you can trust, a voice of reason, a voice of direction, and a voice of hope.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Live. I'm Cynthia Nanjala.
And I'm Sammy Adika. Rise and shine, folks. We hope you are ready for an energizing start to your day.
Absolutely. We are here to bring you the latest headlines and trending news stories from the world of politics,
business and finance, health and lifestyle,
agriculture and sports.
So grab your coffee, sit back and get ready for a fantastic morning of engaging discussions and news segments.
Join us through our social media handles, #The Morning Live. This is Morning Live, exclusively on EBN TV.
Well, welcome back. And still on matters in security, The government is set to reopen schools that were abandoned in West Pokot County following the rise of insecurity in the region over the past few months. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has said that the schools will be reopened in January as they have announced the operation to recover illegal firearms in an effort to reduce, or rather to curb and end banditry in the region. The government will also begin training 205 National Police Reservists at Chester Teachers College grounds in Sigor Sub-County, who will help supplement the role of National Police Service and the Kenya Defence Forces in restoring normalcy in the county.
Before this operation began, because of insecurity, the attacks by bandits made the local residents to flee and the children had to leave school. So for more than a year now, a school like this one, Cheptilwell Boys High School, has been closed. We have also relooked at the security deployments in this area, and we have agreed on what additional security establishments and deployments we want to do here so that to enhance the safety of our children and the teachers.
Now, the Kenya Wildlife Service has deployed officers in Georgia to hunt down killer hyenas that have claimed lives of innocent villagers in the recent past. Now, the move follows last week's attack and killing of a middle-aged woman by the marauding hyenas in Nyakaba village. Livestock in the villages have not been spared either, as in the past years, hundreds of sheep and goats have been attacked and killed by the hounds.
Tunapoita wanyama badala fisi waje ni wananchi ndio wanakuja. Sasa tushike wananchi ama tushike fisi ama tushike wananchi. So mimi ningependa kuasihi kwa unyenyekevu, ikifika wakati huo, na hii ujumbe sielekezi kwa watu wa Nyasaba peke yake, na uelekeza kwa watu wa Juja, Nyasaba, Wetidhie, Juja na Kiambu na hata Kenya nzima, ya kwamba wakati tunafanya hiyo operesheni ya kujaribu kuondoa hawa wanyama, tafadhalini msije karibu, mtupatie nafasi ili tuweze kufanya hii kazi, na mkitupatia nafasi ndipo sisi pia tutaweza kumaliza hili shida haraka, sivyo? Si mnataka ishi haraka? Sasa mkitupatia nafasi, tutaweza kupata nafasi, sisi tutaweza kuifanya na kuimaliza mapema ama kwa muda mfupi zaidi, ili tuweze kwenda kusaidia Wakenya wengine katika sehemu zingine. Tunajua fisi hawako hapa Nyasaba peke yake, sivyo? Juja mzima kuna fisi, sio? Na tungetaka tumalizane na shida ambayo iko hapa ili tuweze kuelekea sehemu zingine na tuweze kuwasaidia wale nao pia. Sawa? Mtu amesema tukuje hapa ili tuweze kumaliza hao fisi. Narudia, nasisitiza sana. Hilo si lengo letu, hilo si kitu ambalo tumeleta hapa. Sisi tumekuja kuhakikisha ya kwamba watu wa area hii hawana shida ya fisi tena. Tumekuja kuhakikisha kwamba tutaondoa kwa njia yoyote lile ambao si wenyewe tunajua.
Mama wa KWS, acha nikuambie, hawa wanaume wako hapa, mimi niko na uwezo na wengine naweza shikiliana na wao, tuwaunganishe, tuingie kwa hii bush. Mpaka saa hiyo fisi wanatusikia wako hapa. Hatuongelea ya kitu yenye iko mbali, iko tu hapa karibu nasi.
Now in Kirinyaga County, the tight-knit community of Gitwe village in Kanyekine, Kirinyaga Central, rallied together to rescue a 2-month-old baby boy abandoned in a bush. Local police are now on the case investigating the circumstances surrounding this shocking incident. Now the discovery unfolded just moments before nightfall, with John Kiama of the Kirinyaga County Fire Department noting that 2 vigilant girls from the area found the infant.
Na kuokoa watu. Kama wakati wa saa 8 hivi tumepigiwa simu, ofisa wangu anaitwa Kawa akapigiwa simu akaambiwa kuna mtoto amepatikana kwa kichaka njia ya Gitwe, na wakati ameniambia tukakunya na gari biubiu ili tukunje tuokoe hii maisha. Tukakuta kama mtoto kalionekana na huyu manda mwanaitwa Ivoni, akatueleza vile alisikia katoto kakilia akiwa anapita kwa barabara, alafu akaenda akaambia mama yake, tukapigiwa simu tukakuja. Sasa tunataka kuokoa hii katoto, na jamani hii katoto ni kamfulana na hii mbegu ya mvulana haionekani. Watu waache kutesa watoto kama wavulana hivi, kwa sababu hii ndio kiongozi wa kesho. na hii mtoto tampeleka hospitali sasa apate matibabu akiwa na matibabu yoyote ili awe mtu mzima.
Kwa majina ni Von. Nilikuwa nimeenda kusindikisha rafiki yangu, tukasikia mtoto analia. Tukafikiria huyo mtoto ako na mamake, lakini hakuwa na mamake. Tulichukua hatua ya kwenda kuita wazazi wetu ili wakuje wachukue huyo mtoto and then wapigie chifu wa iki kijiji.
From Kabara ward, that is in Gishogo constituency, and we are here at Kianjogo area. This is in Kanyakine ward in Kirinyaga Central constituency, and I was coming from the assembly when I found some fracas, and I realized that there was a child that was that had been collected from the bushes. It's a boy child around 2 to 3 months old, and the child is in good state, good health. However, the child seemed to be hungry, and that is why the child was crying. That we take care of our children, take care of our infants, and it is also imperative that I thank the fire department and the Department of Disaster Management and the police for the bold step they have taken to ensure that that child is in safe hands and is going to get good health care, so that the child is back to their health and is able to live a normal life. Thank you.
Now in sports, the East Africa Safari Classic Rally received 6 million boost from Safaricom and other organizations to support the 9-day event. The rally, which kicked off on Saturday, has attracted 63 drivers from 27 countries globally, with 44 international participants and 19 local contenders. The rally will now cover approximately 4,000 kilometers, which include cutting across 11 counties from Kilifi to Nakuru. The winning ceremony is set to take place at Nairobi and Diani.
We are going to be traversing about 11 counties around Kenya, starting from Mombasa, coming down right up to Nairobi, Naivasha, going down towards Nakuru, and then coming back up all the way to the coast. This rally is 5,000 kilometers long, so it's going to be quite a difficult one. And in that, I would really like to urge all those spectators, the drivers, and everyone involved or watching or in any way being involved to be very, very safe. This rally is a showcase for Kenya. We take the rally to areas where the normal tourist run doesn't, like the Cherangani Hills and other places where a normal tourist company will not.
Well, Wolves manager Gary O'Neill held a massive win after his team managed to score a goal at